Friends, pro-life leader Frank Pavone here, bringing you today my daily diary. What did I do from Tuesday the 26th of August through Friday the 29th of August of 2025? Well, on Tuesday the 26th, I started out at my office. I started out early in the studio doing some pre-taping for broadcasts for which I would be away. I did work at my desk. Some of the email work involved things as the following, and these were also things I did during the course of the day when I did go to my email. Communication with one of our Spanish translators and members of our Silent No More team, a father of an aborted child, arranging for media interviews, approving a parish fax, approving website domains to be renewed and correspondence to be issued, and communication with our prospecting program, preparation for the 115 Forum of pro-life leaders, the meeting we host, audio clips from Dr. Dobson, who recently passed away. Great times I had with him on his program, communication about AmFest from Turning Point USA, and communication with Give, Send, Go, which is an outlet for raising funds for specific projects. Our staff briefing was held at 8:30 as usual. 9:15, I met with one of the members of our finance team. 10 o'clock, I went into the studio to do the live scripture broadcast. 11 o'clock, I had a meeting with several staff on the technical end of things and the data work to guide them along on some questions. Had some lunch, had an afternoon phone call at 2 with Turning Point USA, and meanwhile was tending to a number of the topics I mentioned already, and other checking in with staff throughout the office and work at my desk until I was picked up at 4 to go to the Orlando airport. So one of our good volunteers picked me up, did some work on the phone on the way, and got me to the airport, and I boarded a flight for Charlotte, North Carolina, got there, did some work on the plane and the terminal and so forth, checked into my hotel in the evening and went to bed. I was there in Charlotte for what would unfold over the next 3 days, namely the CareNet conference. Now, CareNet is one of the big networks of pregnancy centers. There's also Heartbeat, there's also NIFLA, a few other smaller ones, but pregnancy centers serving throughout the country the needs of those who are tempted to have abortions. So on Wednesday, the 27th, I jumped right in to this mega conference. Most of the people there, people I have known and interacted with, or I've visited their centers, or other pro-life leaders who were either exhibiting or speaking at the conference. And so I took part in some of the sessions, listened to the talks, went to the exhibit area. Now that's where I spent a lot of my time, going to each and every exhibit booth, talking again with these group leaders whom I know and have worked with over the years, and having a lot of great interaction with the participants in the conference. That's why I go. A lot of different side meetings, planning meetings with some of the leaders, and just a very, very pleasant experience taking place there. Went throughout the day and had lunch with some pro-life activists that I know. Had to do a phone call in the mid-afternoon to one of our supporters. Continue to interact with people in the display area. And at dinner, at the end of the day, went to dinner with some of our pro-life friends who were there at the conference, including Shari Richard, pioneer in pro-life ultrasound. If you know the history of the movement, you know Shari's name. So again, the day ended as it began with this constant interaction. There were like 1,800 people there at this conference, and continuous interaction morning, noon, and night with these great pro-life people. Thursday the 28th, very much the same thing. Got to the exhibit area in the morning, attended some of the general sessions. I also had to do some interviews. So I went through the day doing that, had lunch with some of the pro-life leaders that I'm interacting with all the time. Then I had to go back over to my room because at 2 p.m. and then again at 4 p.m., I had national TV interviews, podcast and TV show interviews. So I did them from my computer there in my hotel room. And then at the end of all that, went back to see what was going on with the other activities of the conference, and again interact with the other participants. And then in the evening, did some quiet work, connected with some of my team once the events of the conference were concluded for the day. Friday the 29th, much of the same. Oh, on Thursday, I also had to touch base via email on the topics of our C4 pro-life vote, our 115 Forum meeting of leaders, a prayer about the tragedy that happened in Minnesota, sent out a special prayer about that, preparation for our Florida March for the Preborn, and communication with Legatus. You'll be hearing more from me about Legatus pretty soon. Communication with one of the members of the Council for National Policy that I'm assisting, communication about our prospecting and about donor calls, and a lot of that taking place there on Thursday. Also, mass intentions, phone append data, our newsletter, e-blast, approvals. Those were some of the email topics too that I dealt with on Wednesday and on Thursday. On Friday, the conference continued, and so I networked again with the people from early in the morning and going into the display area and talking with as many people as I could. And then I had to go back to my room for an 11 a.m. interview on a national program, and came back then to the conference. It was like across the street. The hotel was just across the street from the convention center. Back to the convention center, some lunch, interaction with more pro-life leaders. Then I had a 1 o'clock administrative phone call, and then another interview on my computer for a podcast at 2 o'clock. And then I got packed up, and I had to be picked up at 3:45 to go to the airport, because Friday night, the 29th, I flew back from Charlotte, but not back home. I went to Washington, D.C., and landed at Dulles Airport and in the evening, in the mid-evening, and went to my hotel. And then we'll pick up from there what I did after that on the next update of the Daily Diary. So thanks so much. I also on Friday and in transit and while at the airport, a couple of email things I had to deal with. Communication with the Liberty Pastors, these pastors' conferences at which I speak on abortion. Turning Point USA communication, approval of an email blast and invitation from the America First Policy Institute that I was communicating about, and also some work in regard to our embryoscopy videos, best footage of the unborn child that exists. Those are some of the things I did from Tuesday the 26th through Friday the 29th of August, 2025. Hope your days are blessed. Talk to you soon.
Follow him, Father Frank Pavone, Fr. Frank Pavone. He is the National Director of Priests for Life. Please go to priestsforlife.org.
Frank Pavone. Frank, thank you very much.